What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with another daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy, and today we're going back into r/AskReddit for some funny stories about those little buggers you can't escape right now while you're in quarantine. No, I'm not talking about your kids, although some people think of them as that. We're talking about your pets. So, let's get to it. Okay, so the AskReddit question was, pet owners of Reddit, what's the funniest story you have about your pet? And there are some good ones in here. Also, I've got a really funny video of my dogs from back in the day that I'm gonna throw in here just cause, I mean, it's adorable and yeah. Once I read that you can judge how smart dogs are by putting a piece of cloth over their head and seeing how long it takes them to remove the cloth. So I put a cloth on my dog's head, a Husky Lab mix, and he just stood still for about 10 seconds, and then laid down, with the cloth still on his head. I thought I would die laughing. Okay, now I will say this one is patently untrue because you cannot judge a dog's intelligence by that. My dog Scotty, who I miss terribly every day and I loved him to death, but my gosh, he was dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, he was just a stupid dog. Again, love him to death, but just a stupid dog. And he would get out of that in like 2 seconds. So, follow up on that one. I read one of these where you throw a blanket over your dog to see how quickly they get out. My dog spun in a circle after panicking for a while and hog-tied his feet, then fell over in a neatly tied up bundle. That could be funny to watch. Every dog has a way they communicate that they need to go outside. For my previous dog, a toy poodle, it was walking up to you and barking once. Well, one day we were all watching a movie when she walks in the room and barks. I get up to let her outside, but she just jumps up and lays on my chair. She made me get up so she could steal my seat. You sure that's a dog and not a cat? Cause you get up for about 0.3 of a second here, and Zorro is immediately on your chair. It's ridiculous how fast that cat can move. I used to have a Quaker parrot that would unhook earrings and necklaces and fly away with them while doing his evil laugh. He would also fly into tortilla chip bags and try to eat his way out. He had to be supervised at all times. What, Polly just wanted a cracker? Or a tortilla chip in this case. Follow up here. Quaker parrots are so funny. Mine flies off with styluses and lids to things and drops them behind the biggest piece of furniture he can find when he decides I should be paying attention to him instead. He also likes to chew holes in shirts but knows he'll get in trouble if he does, so he sits and stares straight down at clothing for a good half a minute before sneakily going to take a bite. My miniature pinscher was bitten by a gopher one day, so we had to take her to the vet because she was limping and whimpering. It was a pretty nasty bite between her back leg and belly, that little webbing area. I don't know how she got bit there. What I do know is that as soon as she had healed, she started pooping directly into gopher holes in the backyard. We've moved a few times now, but she sticks to her vendetta. Anytime she sees a gopher hole now, she's determined to squeeze something out into their homes. Dogs, man. That's cute, though. That's really cute. I bought a big catnip plant and put it in a pretty pot on the front stoop. My big Manx, Sebastian, came to the door immediately to check it out. He immediately bear hugged the rim of the pot with his front legs, buried his face in the foliage, and froze. I laughed a little and let him hang out for a few minutes before grabbing him to bring him inside. The big guy hung on tight and growled softly, so I let him stay. Well, I went about my business for the rest of the afternoon and kind of forgot about him. Hours later, he was still in the same spot. I put his food out, which on any other day would have brought him running inside. Today, he stayed put. I called for him at nighttime. On any other day, he would have hopped into bed with me to cuddle. Today, he stayed put. The following morning, it rained. The mailman came. A man with a leaf blower walked past on the sidewalk. Sebastian stayed put, glued to that spot. Finally, I removed the plant from the stoop. He acted depressed for the rest of the day. Drugs, man. I know cats can go either way with catnip, but I am just terrified at the idea of giving Zorro any, because if he goes any crazier, I mean, let's just say stuff's gonna break. Our cat's just insane. Still though, drugs. Yeah. One day, I was sitting at my computer chair and Oreo walked by. I swung around and captured her gently between my legs. She was so startled that she farted really loud, which startled her even more, and she started barking at her butt. I mean, I love dogs, but man, they can be so stupid sometimes. That's cute, though. That's... aw. Not me, but my mom. She talked to their German Shepherd so much, it started thinking it was people. Like, if you don't offer her social graces that you'd give to another human, she gets offended and starts acting like a passive-aggressive teenager. That's... okay. Some dogs. I mean, every dog's different, I guess. Follow-up comment on that? My dog does this on walks. If anyone passes her without saying hi, she freezes and sends them dirty looks over her shoulder. So when I had Scotty and Emma, it was kind of the same deal. Like, they got so much love and attention from anyone that they saw because they were just beautiful dogs and just so friendly. Especially Scotty. I mean, you could not find a friendlier dog than that. He was all over you the second he saw you. But if you ignored them, they would make sure to go out of their way to make themselves known. I mean, they would jump on you, lick you, everything. And so when we're on walks, I mean, like, they're small dogs, and I'm not exactly a small guy, so I was able to hold them back pretty easily, but man, they would want to meet everyone. And if someone just walked past, they'd start barking and whatnot, be like, hey, show me some love. And Scotty had the cutest bark. And I actually have a video clip of it right here. Walk? Ah, man, every time I hear that, I miss that dog. Oh. Yeah, they were good dogs. When I was young, my family owned a very stupid dog named Chloe. We'd occasionally come home to discover that Chloe had gotten onto the roof and was eating shingles. Okay, hold on. How does a dog get on the roof and eat shingles? How low to the ground was your house? Or did you just have, like, an easy access for the dog there? Because, I mean, dogs aren't going to be able to jump up on the roof very easily. And more to the point, I mean, eating shingles? Like, you know, whatever. I can't pass judgment because Scotty ate some weird stuff too. So, when my cat thinks I'm not paying attention to her, like I'm in another room, taking a shower, eating, on the phone, etc., she'll grab a toy in her mouth and walk around crying with it until I, or another lesser human substitute, acknowledges her efforts. She'll leave them outside of the shower, on my pillow, at the front door, etc. This behavior has always been really cute and sweet, but last month, she brought me an actual mouse in the middle of the night. I really hope it was dead. Because that would be freaky, but, yeah. I have 2 cats, littermates named Odin and Zeus. I adopted them when they were about a year old. One day, maybe a week after I got them, I was sitting around watching them when something spooked Odin, and he did that stiff leap into the air. He half landed on Zeus, who in turn was spooked by the sudden contact. Zeus does his spooked leap and tosses Odin in the air. They both take off in opposite directions. I love cats. Oh, they can be funny, but they can also be just little terrorists too. My gerbil used to sneak into my bunny's cage at night and then steal his food. It worked for months. One time, he did it in the morning when both cages were open. My bunny caught him and started chasing him through the room parallel to the wall. My gerbil runs up the wall and does a 90-degree turn like an inch away from it. My bunny cannot react fast enough and slams face first into the wall. So it's like a bit from Looney Tunes. I have an indoor-outdoor cat named Pepe. One afternoon, I had gotten a pizza, and after I ate, I ended up leaving the house and leaving the open pizza box on the counter. When I came back, my cat, along with 3 others, were on the counter eating the pizza. They had gotten in the open kitchen window that didn't have a screen. The other 3 cats were pretty ratchet looking, and I could tell they didn't have a person of their own. So I just ended up keeping all 3. My cat brought dinner guests that ended up moving in. Well, that's sweet of you, but also very risky, because if they were feral cats, I mean, there's very few things harder to house train than a feral cat. The day I picked her up, I had to lay down a blanket in the back seat for her to lay on and not get dog hair all over my brother's car. I was even going to sit in the back with her so she would be more chill. Opened up the back door, she happily hops in, jumps to the front passenger seat, and laid down. She just looked at me like, yeah, this is your life now, and rode like that the whole way home. A few days later, I brought her to the vet, and when I opened the door to my truck, she jumped in and took the driver's seat as if she was going to drive us there. She's also totally not interested in water, even though she's a lab mix, but one rainy day while I was at work, my brother was taking her out and she decided she was going to bathe in a mud puddle. When I got home, my bathroom was painted in mud. It got in places I don't even know how it got there. If she wants belly rubs, she'll roll over on her back and wiggle around like a snake until you start petting her. If you stop, the wiggling resumes. She's a goober, but she's my goober. Oh, that's just sweet more than funny necessarily, but man, this is just making me really miss my dogs. My cat took a few years to transition to an indoor-only cat. One day, she was outside waiting to come in, and I noticed the screen door was closed. There was no way to stop her, so she came running as soon as I cracked open the sliding glass door. And then whack! Right into the screen door. I was laughing so hard I was crying, and she got embarrassed and ran away. I had to chase after her and catch her to bring her in. Oh. That was r/AskReddit, and if you're looking for more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below. Now you guys, stay healthy, stay safe, stay inside if you're supposed to. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.